Hello everyone, just getting set up here and putting stuff on. Okay, there we go. So I can get my comments as well a little bit nearer. I have bad eyesight, so I've got you all on my iPad too in order to be able to see exactly what's going on. Okay, hello. I'm going to the football today. We're going to be doing some English speaking part 1 questions today. Let me just lower that down a bit so I can get the top of my whiteboard in. This is my home studio that I've set up for this purpose. So today we're going to work through the English speaking part 1. I've got something in my mouth. And we're going to look at some advice and practice and the best things that you can do for passing the English speaking part 1 exam. So let's go through exactly what the English speaking part 1 exam is. Basically, when you arrive into the room, if it's the first certificate or the PET, then when you arrive into the room, then the interlocutor or something, I think they call it, the person that's speaking to you, the examiner, they will be sat opposite you and they will ask you some questions, and it's usually personal questions. Okay, just got out of the shower, so my hair's a bit wet, because straight after this live I'm going to watch the football, Tenerife today, and it's the last game of the season, so thought I'd fit in this live. So I've got a list of lots and lots of questions here. I don't know whether you can see. Can I actually turn? I think I can, can't I? Let me have a look, see if I can turn my camera around. So, okay, that's a bit better. My cat's on the bed at the back. Okay, so yeah, now you can actually see that. So here I have lists and lists of different, these are the starter questions. So you might be asked about where you live now and your home country, daily life, education and work, let me see, travel and holidays, entertainment, your family and friends, free time, sports, or what you want to do in the future. And the examiner will have a list of questions similar to these, yeah, and they will basically pick 2 or 3. So if you're preparing for a speaking exam, then what you need to do, or to prepare for this part of the exam, would basically one of 2 things. Firstly, you're going to go through the questions and try and have an idea of what you would say if you were asked a particular question. Now this doesn't matter for all of the questions, but it's useful to read through a list like this and pick the questions that you would have trouble with were you asked them. So if you don't have a favourite book and they might ask you what's your favourite book, then think, well, if they ask me that question, then what am I going to say in that instance, in that situation? I'm going to think of a book that I might say is my favourite and then have an answer ready. So you don't need to have answers for absolutely every question, just the ones that you would find most difficult to answer. So it's a good thing to go through these. So that's 1. Number 2 is I'm going to show you now a way of answering these questions that I do with a lot of my students to prepare them for these exams, and it makes your answers more interesting, so you then get more points. Hi everyone that's joining. If you have any questions at any point, then please put them in the comments. I have another screen here to try and keep track of the comments because I'm a little bit blind. Yeah, my eyesight's not as good as it used to be. I am 50 years old now, and that's what happens, isn't it? As we get older, we lose our memory, we lose our vision, we lose everything else. Okay, so if you need me to explain anything in Spanish, I can do so. I speak Spanish and I speak English. Other languages may be a little bit more difficult. So with that, I'm going to show you my trick. So we're going to start with, let me find a good question. Well, I'll do one which I actually practice every class with my students by asking a question at the beginning of most classes, and I expect them to answer in this particular way. Well, first of all, if you have likes, very good. Let me see where my edge, right, so I can write to here, and at the other end I can write to the end. Okay, so you'll be able to see it. So I'll just let you know, can't write today, www.islaidiomas.com. If you live in Tenerife and you want English classes, then that's my web address for my academy. I also have a website for materials. I design my own materials, and you can download materials for free if you're a teacher from this website, or if you're practicing for particular things, like you need to practice irregular verbs or something like that. I've developed games so you can download them, laminate them, print them off, all for free. And then, well, you can't laminate them for free, you'd have to do that on your own. And then cut them out, obviously, so you can play with the games and practice your verbs or whatever. So the address of that website I'll put here as well, www.classroomgames.net. Okay, that's that website. So this one is for classes in Tenerife, and this one is for games, because I do like a good game. Yeah, my writing's going like this, isn't it? I'm usually a lot better at writing on a whiteboard. I have more practice. Okay, so islaidiomas.com, classroomgames.net. I would love if you could give me lots of likes, and if you can follow along, because I'm trying to get to 10,000 followers as soon as possible, so I can get into the Creator Fund to raise money for Tenerife charities, and also to fund classes for people that are less fortunate and don't have enough money but still need to learn English to work here in Tenerife. Okay, so with that out of the way, I will now start. Right, my method for these questions. Question I usually ask to my students at the beginning of a class is, especially after the weekend, I say, what did you do at the weekend? I think I'm going to fall over. Oh! Okay, what did you... And I'm going to move this chair out of the way, actually, so that I can actually stand on this side too. Okay, what did you do at the weekend? And I'll show you how we answer this, okay? Really good way to answer this. You think about... Let's see how far I can go here. Okay, we think about what the question is, and we're going to answer with the question words. So we're going to need to say who. Usually it's who with. Who with. Can you see this okay? I think so. Who. If you can't see, then please let me know. In the weekend is incorrect. In the weekend. No, at the weekend. Always at the weekend. In the morning. Okay, in. In the morning. So you've got to put the preposition in. In the morning. In the afternoon. Yeah, in the evening. Yeah, okay, all those go with in, but we say at night. So at goes with night. We say at the weekend. At the moment. There are various time prepositions that go with the time things. I have actually got a whole class on that, which I can do another day if you would find that useful. Okay, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night, at the weekend, at the moment. If you're talking about months, you would use in. So in July. But if you're talking about, or in August, yeah, August or whatever, whatever month. But if you're then putting a date before that, so if you were saying the 12th of July, then you use on. So it's different. So for dates, you put on in front of it, but if it's just the month, it would be in. If you're talking about years, so 2024, so that will be in again. So I haven't got any more room there, so I'll just put it here, 2024, in 2024. But on the 12th of July 2024. There are a list of rules for this, and I've got a whole other class on this. So if you like, in the future, I will do that. I will I will put it on my agenda for something that we can cover, because I don't really want to stray too much from what we're doing today. But I hope that helps. Yeah, if it does, give me a few likes. Okay, so we've got our question, whatever our question is at the moment. What did you do at the weekend? And we're going to answer with question words. We're going to have those question words in our head when we are answering questions. Okay, so we've got who, and then we've got what, and then we've got why, and then we've got when. Who, what, why, where we need as well. I'll put that there. Where. Then we can use which, but I think these are usually enough. Who, what, why, where, and when. We can use which, so I'll put that there in orange. We could use how as well if we want to. But the idea is to use as many of these 5 as possible when you're answering your question, okay? So if I was saying what I did at the weekend, last weekend, I might say, okay, what did I do? I went diving. Why did I go diving? Because it's, capital letter, not in the middle of a sentence, it's my favourite hobby, for example. Because I like sea creatures, because I find the sea interesting. Anything you want, okay? I went diving because that's our why. When? On Saturday. Saturday should be a capital S. That's very bad of me. Saturday afternoon. Where did I go? Where did I go? It was called El Barito, I think. I can't remember the exact name of the place. It's near Barillo, I think. El Barillo. It's a little sort of port in Tenerife where lots of people go camping. It's a really, really nice diving site. If anyone likes diving and they ever come to Tenerife, I would recommend this place in El Barillo, Tenerife. Or Tenerife. If you're English, you say Tenerife. You pronounce it Tenerife. Because in English, we don't pronounce the E's on the end of the word. So all the English people naturally will say Tenerife instead of Tenerife. And which one have I missed off? That's what I did, why I did it, when I did it, where I did it. So who I did it with. Okay. in Albarito, Tenerife, so you start that sentence with, just as you start that sentence with, because with the local, local diving centre. What's their name? Their name is Pama Diving in Playa San Juan, which is where my academy is. So the people I usually dive with. I usually go once a week if possible, but sometimes. This week not going because I'm going to the football. Okay, so instead of saying, if you look at this, if I asked you what did you do at the weekend, I could just say, I went diving. And that's great, isn't it? That's answering the question. Okay? So, but if I say, I went diving because it's my favourite hobby. I went on Saturday afternoon to El Barrio in Tenerife with the local diving centre in Playa San Juan. And I could expand on that. And I saw an octopus, which I did, yeah. So about 3 octopuses, octopi you could say, or octopuses. Yeah, both are correct English nowadays. Used to be octopi, now octopuses is accepted. So I went diving because it's my favourite hobby on Saturday afternoon in El Barrio, Tenerife with the local diving centre in Playa San Juan. Now that sentence, if you're in an exam situation, is massive compared to I went diving. Just I went diving. No. So what did you do at the weekend? Let me know in the comments and I will look on my iPad here so I can read them a bit better. If you want to try and do an answer to this sentence, what did you do at the weekend, then I would like to hear what you were going to say. Okay, I could tell you what I'm doing this weekend. I am going to the football because it's the last game of the season and I used to be a season ticket holder with Tenerife up until the end of COVID, and then I'm not anymore, but I can't go to every match anymore. I'm going this afternoon. The match is at 8 o'clock, so we're setting off at about 5 o'clock from Las Americas, and there is a tour, well not tour, it's a Peña, which is a fan club for Tenerife that I go to games with, which is a peña of extranjeros, of foreigners. Yeah, so all the foreigners that live in the south of Tenerife that actually like Tenerife, they have their own peña and they take buses to every match. So I might actually do a live this afternoon showing what happens when we go to the football, because I've not been in such a long time and I'm going with a friend that's over on holiday. So we're going to Santa Cruz to the Eliodoro Rodriguez Lopez with Armada Sir, and we will watch the game and hopefully we'll win. The last time we played this team, we lost 2-0, but we're in 12th position, they're in 20th position, they could go down. So this match I think is more important to them than it is to us. So I can just relax and not get all stressed about football today. So let's see, anyone had a go? Que envidia hablar así en el inglés. Well, I am. Soy inglesa. Yo soy de Manchester. Llevo 23 años viviendo aquí en Tenerife. Entonces yo hablo español. Y no necesito pensar ahora mismo para hablar en español. Yo puedo simplemente hablar, pero creo que yo también yo tengo acento. Yo sé exactamente que tengo acento porque mis hijas me han dicho. Mis hijas son de aquí. Los dos nacieron aquí y ahora mismo viven en Inglaterra, están estudiando en Inglaterra, entonces no viven. Eso es habitación suyas. y he convertido con pizarra blanca para hacer estas cosas desde casa también, porque mi academia es lejos de mi casa, entonces para viajar ahí solo para hacer un live no. Entonces vamos a seguir. ¿Quieres que hablo en inglés o hablo en español? Yo no me importa. Okay, so what we're going to do today, ¿qué vamos a hacer? I'm going to pick some questions, and if you want to answer them, then you can stick them on the comments. I'm not sure if my comments are coming up on... Oh, I've just closed it on there. Never mind. I'll try and read them off the screen here. Inglés, por favor. Okay, English. Perfect. Right. So, see what I mean? When you're older, you have to do this. I have glasses, but I don't wear them that often. So, things that they will ask you. For example, we'll start on section 1, which is we can do different sections on different days if we run out of time, because I've got 3 pages worth of questions here. Or I can do one from each section today, and then I can do the second one from each section another day, for example, and we just go over them. Depends how long it takes. Remember, if you want to know about classes in Tenerife, this website. If you want to know about games that you can do or want to download games that you can do, this is the website. Everything's free. All of that I would love is if you just like or follow along. Yeah. So our first question was, what did you do at the weekend? I'm going to get rid of that. Our next question is going to be, it's from where you live now and your home country. So this part, I can actually make this available if you want, if people would like it. I can make this whole list available because I put it together from different websites I found. Okay, is it easy to meet new people where you live is the first question. Is it easy? So where are you actually from? Where are you all from? Let me know where you're from. It'd be nice to know if you're all from Spain or from other countries, or from South America, or if there's any people that don't speak Spanish from Poland or France or whatever. Let me know. Is it easy to meet new people where you live? Ooh. What could we say about that? Is it easy to meet new people where, I'll put it underneath so it's easier to see, you live. As you can see, I am left-handed. Left-handed. Yeah. Is it easy to meet new people where you live? Now, sort of things you can answer for that. Well, is it easy to meet people anywhere these days? A lot of people are meeting on the internet, aren't they? More and more and more. Though there is sort of a movement towards people trying to meet in person again, which is quite nice for someone like me that was born 1973, so that's how we used to meet people then. Okay, is it easy to meet new people where you live? Where I live? I don't know. What would I say? Well, I think, how could I use this? You might be able to use a how and a which in this one. Where? So I live in Tenerife. And so that's my where. And what can my what be, or who, or why, or when? So trying to get a big answer out of this. I live in Tenerife, and the people I meet are usually parents from my classes, parents, or tourists. So why? The people I meet are usually, so that's what maybe. The people I meet are usually parents or tourists. Why? Because I work in my academy. A lot. So I'm at work a lot of the time. I could put a lot of the time as well. So how would I meet people? So I don't meet too many people outside, and it can be more difficult. So, I mean, this particular question isn't the easiest one. Yeah, it's not the easiest one to answer, but you can come up with a nice, big, full answer. So, is it easy to meet people where you live? I live in Tenerife, and the people I meet are usually parents or tourists. Because of this, because I work in my academy a lot. So that's where you'd have because of this, but if you've done because here, I wouldn't say because again. So I don't meet too many people outside, and it can be more difficult. Is it easy to meet people where you live? Yeah, is it easy? Let me know how you would answer this particular question. Okay, so that's a question what would normally be, or is on the list for the speaking part 1. Okay, this question is on the list for the speaking part 1. So next question, let's see what else is on the list. What else do they ask you about in the speaking part 1? This is basically for Cambridge, but most of the speaking exams do actually use questions like this at the beginning. Another thing to mention is that if you're doing a Cambridge exam, they tend to ask you to spell something. They will also, in the listening exams, you usually have to listen to something, and it will spell out a word, especially at the B1 level, but also at the B2 as well, and also in IELTS. And I've had many students that have had a really good level of speaking, but when I've asked them to spell something, they have problems. Yeah, they have problems spelling stuff. So things that you should always try and know how to spell are your name, and the name of your full name, which is your first name, and any apellidos, any surnames that you have, if you've got two, both of them, and also the street where you live. Okay, because when you enter the speaking exam, they will ask you your name. They might ask you where you live, and if they do ask you where you live, or they do ask you your name, and it's a name that they might not know how to spell, they will ask you to spell it for them. And that's their way of getting you, or seeing whether or not you can spell in English, whether you can use the alphabet. It's using the alphabet, okay? And some people, Spanish people in particular, have problems with I and E. They always get them mixed up. I have a trick to remember this, okay? I for iPhone, E for email. No more problems. I for iPhone, if you're thinking, oh, is it an E or an I that I have to say, just think, iPhone begins with the letter I, and you say iPhone, so it has to be an I, okay? Email begins with the letter E, and it's email, so it has to be E. Okay, so this one is one that people always mix up. Another two that people always mix up are G and J. how do we remember the difference between G and J? Well, J, DJ. Yeah, DJ. Yeah. Mixing his records. DJ, J. The other one, G. Yeah, so this is how, in the moment when you're actually having to spell, if you have any little doubts which one to use, just go, oh, DJ, J, or DJ, no, G. So you know which one you're using. With these ones, you can go, if I'm spelling my name Kirsty, yeah, is K. And if it's a K-I, yeah, I is iPhone, I, R-S-T-Y, okay? If I was spelling the word view, which is V, I for iPhone, E for email, W. So you don't get mixed up. I for iPhone, E for email. Okay, just so you can think that in your head. I for iPhone, E for email. Okay, this is a really good trick to remember. Also, the letter Y I associate with KY. Okay, because people always get that one, forget that one for some reason. Maybe because it's not used that much. It's, you know, it's one of the least used letters of the alphabet. But there's some advice. You will be asked to spell something if it's a first certificate exam or a PET exam. You will be asked. So make sure you spell things out beforehand and practice using your alphabet, because it's points that are very, very easy to get. Yeah, if you mess up on a spelling, that's a point that you could have got. And it's just such a simple thing to spell something. It's something you should know. Also, for numbers, I mean, if there's anyone who has problems with numbers, sort of like 20, 30, you know, the 2-digit numbers, a little trick for that. You need to know the numbers 1 to 9 without 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 without faltering, without having a problem. So if I point in the number, you should be able to say it. 7, 4, 3, 5, 7. You know, a good way of practicing that, or to get to that fluency, is to say the numbers backwards. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you go 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Practice doing them backwards. That's a good way of doing that. Another thing you can do, so if you've got two numbers, this only works for ones after 20. The ones before 20. Okay, let's start with the ones before 20. So if you've got this number, for example, 17. Yeah, all numbers that start with 1 end in teen, with an N on the end. You have to say the N. Teen. Teen. So you say this number, 17. So, ends in teen. 17. If it was this, 18. The only ones that are any different are this one, 15, because it's fifth, not 5. Yeah, 15, no. But everyone would understand you if you're just saying it in general conversation. 12 and 11. 12 and 11 you have to learn separately. However, for anything above, sort of, you have, for example, this one, you say this number, then you imagine a cup of tea, which all English people drink, and then you say this number. So you would say 64, 64, 64, 79. So you put a cup of tea in between the two numbers, and there you have it. That's it. So if you have anything in a listening exam, there will be one part of it where you have to listen quickly to a number, and you may have to, they may ask you things and you may have to use numbers. So that's a really quick way of being able to think about numbers. Okay, next question. Tell us tell us about a day. Let me have a look, see, has anyone put anything in the comments from the other question? It's at the weekend. It's at the weekend. At the weekend. You got at the weekend. Yeah, you can do something on the weekend as well, but we usually say at the weekend. What did you do at the weekend? Let's have a look. Any more? Okay. Let me see. Okay. Let's see. Oh, hello. My daughter has just joined. Hello, Elena. Okay, tell us about a day. Tell us about a day you've enjoyed or you've really enjoyed. Enjoyed recently. Okay, let's tell us about a day you've really enjoyed recently. Tell us about a day. So we're going to use this schema: who, what, why, where, when, and maybe how and which. So what day have we really enjoyed recently, or have you really enjoyed recently? Oh, let's just make one up. So we need our 5 things. I'm going to start with where, because I'm going to talk about where I went. So I'm going to start with where. So I'm going to say recently I went. So we're talking about something in the past, so we have to use our past tense. I went to Siam Park. Okay, Siam Park is a big water park here in Tenerife. Recently I went to Siam Park. Follows on from that really well is why. Because it was a friend's. You don't notice how I say was. I don't say was, I say was. Yeah? When it's when you're just flowing on the sentence, in English speakers will do that. They'll sort of shorten vowel sounds. So instead of saying was, we'll say was. Yeah? Because it was a friend's birthday. Birthday. I have a habit of missing letters out sometimes. Recently I went to Siam Park because it was a friend's birthday. So that's our why. So that's where we went, where. That's why we went there. So that's 2 of our questions. When did we go? It was a few weeks ago. When it was sunny. So that's our when. Who did I go with? So let's put who. With, or I went with. Whether I went with a big group of friends. So that's who. So what's missing? I've got where, why, when, who, what. Well, what is also what I did. So that's included in there. So this is also our what. So we've answered our 5 questions. Doesn't matter if you can't answer all 5 questions. You can miss 1 or 2 out, you know. But it's just a way of helping you to make the answer a lot more full, a lot more interesting, and getting you more points. So tell us about a day you've really enjoyed recently. Well, recently I went to Siam Park because it was a friend's birthday. It was a few weeks ago when it was sunny. I went with a big group of friends. we went on all the rides. Rides are attracciones, so we say rides in English. Rides or attracciones. Okay, so that is a much nicer, much fuller answer than I went to Science Park. Yeah. And it actually gives a bit of information about why you enjoyed it. You could say why you enjoyed it. We went on all the rides and they were really exciting. Okay, so there we've said why we really enjoy it as well, haven't we? Recently I went to Science Park because it was a friend's birthday. It was a few weeks ago when it was sunny. I went with a big group of friends and we went on all the rides and they were really exciting. So that's a really nice, big answer to a simple question. And with that answer, you will probably get full marks, yeah, with a question like that. Other advice for when you're doing a speaking exam. If you do make a question, make a mistake. So for example, if I said, recently I go to Science Park instead of went, and really I should be using past tense because I'm talking about the past. You correct it there and then if you realise you make the mistake. Okay, correct it in the moment, because if you correct it, they will understand that you realise you made a mistake and you knew what the mistake was, and you won't lose points for that. A mistake to do is to not correct it. It doesn't mean or bring attention to the fact that you've made a mistake if you're correcting it. It's actually, on the contrary, it's a good thing to correct your mistakes if you're in a speaking exam, because we all know that speaking is difficult. We all know that as you speak, you're trying to think of what to say, and it's even more difficult if you're doing it in a foreign language, isn't it? So sometimes you're having to translate stuff. So if you correct stuff, it's not a bad thing. If you correct what you're saying while you're saying it, it's actually better. It's better. So that's our second question. Tell us about a day you've really enjoyed recently. Can you tell me about a day that you've really enjoyed recently? Are there any comments that you can make about that? Okay. Try and use this schema and put your answers in the comments. I'll try and read them. I'm a bit like I have to do that. So recently I went to Science Park because it was a friend's birthday. I didn't go to Science Park. I just made that up, which is incidentally what you can do in an exam. This is another point. If it's an exam, it doesn't matter what you say. You could make everything up, yeah? These people don't know your life. They don't follow you around. So just say what you want. If you have a list of questions before the exam and you go through them, as I mentioned at the beginning, you go through them, you mark ones that you might have a problem with, or that you wouldn't be able to think of an answer at in the moment, and prepare something in advance for those questions. And if you prepare them, if you prepare your answers, then if they actually ask you that question, you've got something to say and you're not tripping over your words. Okay? So it makes things a little bit easier for you. And you'll generally speak better English, more correct English, because you'll be more relaxed and you won't be scared and thinking of something at the last minute or off the cuff, as you say in English. Off the cuff is a nice expression. Off the cuff, I'll write that down here. Off the cuff. A cuff is the part of a shirt at the end which has the button in it on the sleeve, just about here, yeah. So say that was the cuff of my shirt, I would button it up there, so that's your cuff. If you say something off the cuff, it means you're saying it just without thinking or just in the moment, okay? Off the cuff, new expression. Might stick it on the expression or word of the day. Okay, our next section we're going to look at a question from education and work. Okay, what's the first question on there? Do you use the internet where are we, to learn new things? To learn new things. So do you use the internet to learn new things? Well, if you don't, then you don't. But it's nice to actually have something prepared to make your answer. Wanted to just say yes or no. Yeah. Do you use the internet to learn new things? If you just say yes to this answer or no, they will ask you why. They will always ask you why. So this is why it's better to have something to prepare, to actually have something bigger that you can say. Do you use the internet to learn new things? Well, I'm going to use who, what, why, where, when, where. Okay. Well, do you? Do you, yes or no? I do, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to answer from my point of view. Do you use the internet to learn new things? I often learn from social media. So what do I learn? So that's my opening sentence. What do I learn? I see, because I said often. Often is a trigger word for the present continuous because it's for routines. Okay? Present continuous trigger word, often. I often learn from social media. I see lots of videos on TikTok for various things, or just things, such as recipes. I'm learning French at the moment, so I watch French videos and French lives. Then, I learn news. Yeah, you learn about what's happening in the world. Videos on TikTok. I don't tend to use Instagram so much. I don't like Meta, to be honest. I think TikTok's a lot better. So I see lots of videos on TikTok for things such as news and information, recipes, sustainable living as well. I have a hydroponics channel upstairs that I made because I saw it on TikTok. Things like that. Why? I see lots of videos on TikTok for things such as, I'll just put recipes here. Recipes. Why? Because, why? Why do people, or why is there so much on TikTok? Because people share their experiences. When I usually, another trigger word for present continuous, because it's an adverb of frequency, I'll underline the trigger words, I usually watch videos in the evening. So in the evening, after work, and where do I watch them? In my when I relax on my sofa. On my sofa. So that's using my where. So I've made a more interesting sentence saying, yes, I learn new things on the internet. You know, so I can say, I often learn from social media. I see lots of videos on TikTok for things such as recipes and news and other activities, because people share their experiences and others can learn from them. I usually watch videos in the evening after work when I relax on my sofa. So this is a really big answer to a speaking part 1 question. It's a nice answer, it's got lots of information in it. So as I said, if you like this way of doing it, so using who, what, why, where, when, yeah, as your prompt questions for anything that anyone asks you. If you like this, then please give me a few likes. Follow along, because I'll be doing more of these in the future. Okay. What question are we going on to next? Let me see. Right, has anyone actually given me any examples of their own? Let me see. I have to keep looking at the comments, looking back at the comments. Okay, so we've done where you live now in your home country, we've done daily life, we've done a question from education and work. So, shall we talk about travel and holidays now? Travel and holidays is another thing that they might actually talk to you about. Travel and holidays. Where would you most like to go on holiday in the future? Where would you most like to go on holiday in the future? Okay. So, they're asking about the future. So we're going to use future tenses. They've also said, would like. Where would you like? So we're going to use some conditional, or would like. We're going to use that sort of tense, aren't we? I would like to go. I would like to see. I would like. So we're going to use would like. So what's in the question is usually what you're going to use in the answer. So where would you like to go? Obvious to start with where in this occasion, isn't it? I would like to visit. Where would I like to visit? Where would you like to visit? Anyone got any suggestions where you could visit? I would like to visit, I don't know, New Zealand, I think. I would like to visit New Zealand. Why would you like to visit? So we're going to bring our why in now, because. So we always start our why bit with because. Because I would like, again, because we're talking about something, it's a conditional, isn't it? It's actually a third conditional type of reply. So it's something that would happen if I had the opportunity. I would like to find out or see, I would like to see, in fact, I would like to see the kakapo parrot. Kakapo parrot. Which I'm going to use now. I've not used which up to now. Which is an endangered bird that I find interesting. When? Don't know whether I'd use that in this instance, unless I've actually planned to go, and I haven't, so I can't see a way I could work that into this. Who with as well, I don't know whether I'd use that, because I don't actually know if I'd go alone or if I'd go with someone. I'm sure my daughter would probably want to come with me, because she always does. So I would like to visit New Zealand because I would like to see the kakapo parrot, which is an endangered bird that I find interesting. A lot better than just I would like to visit New Zealand, because they will ask you why, and then once you explain why, it then it makes more sense that you actually finish off the sentence anyway. So if you do it off the back of your own head, then off your own back, then you get a nice answer. So that's a good answer for speaking part 1 for our travel and holidays section. Okay, now we're going to move on to entertainment. Okay, entertainment. Did you see what the first question was there? Do you ever go to concerts? That's a nice question, isn't it? Do you ever go to concerts? Well, if you go to concerts, it's something you can talk about a lot. If you don't go to concerts, then you would need to prepare an answer. So let's have a look. Our question is, do you like to go to concerts? To which you could say, oh yes I do. Or you could say, oh no, don't like concerts very much. Or you could say, you could use this schema, yeah, using who, what, why, where, when. Oh, whiteboard coming off the wall here. Do you like to go to concerts? Yes. I recently, so I'm going to reply from my point of view, okay? I recently went, because I'm talking about past, I went to see Idols band, or Idols, in Barcelona. Why did I go? So that's what I did, yeah, and it's also where I went, so that's where. So I recently went to see Idols in Barcelona. I could say at the Palau Sant Jordi as well. I recently went to see Idols in Barcelona. Why did I go to see them? Because they are one of my favourite bands and they were touring, so by the time I next get to see them it'll be very expensive for tickets. The tickets are very cheap. When did I see them? It was, when was it? I think March. It was in March. I could talk about the weather as well, and the weather was very good. And let's do who with as well. I went on my own, or I could say I went alone, but I would prefer, on my own sounds better in this instance. I went on my own, and I met up with friends that live in Barcelona. Okay, I met up with some friends that actually live out there while I went. I visited some people I know. So, do you like to go to concerts? You could just say, yes, I love to go to concerts. Or you could say, yes, I recently went to see Idols in Barcelona because they're one of my favourite bands. It was in March and I went on my own, but I met up with some friends. The concert was excellent. I was stood in the front row, for example. So if you don't have an answer for this, or if you haven't seen a band recently, or you haven't gone to a concert, it doesn't have to be a rock concert or a pop concert. It could be another type. It could be a classical music concert or something like that. Okay, just have a look, see what. So next question. So we're doing the English speaking part 1 practice. Okay, so this is part of the exam where you would have questions about yourself. Don't forget to know how to spell your own name. Don't forget to be able to spell where you live, your either your town or your street name as well, because they might ask you to spell stuff. Let's have a look. So we've done entertainment. Let's go over and do a question from family and friends. Okay, they might ask you about your family and your friends. So, family and friends. The question is, the first question in that section is, who is the most important person in your life? Oh, quite a deep question this. Oh, what's that? Oh, I need to. Okay. Well, I could say, hello, how are you? And this is the most important person in my life. I could say, couldn't I? Mwah. This is Toasty, my cat. There you go, you have a little rest there. Okay. Who is the most important person in your life? But no, I have 3 of the most important people in my life: my mother and my 2 daughters, and my cat as well, so 4, and my uncle. Right, who are the most important people in your life? Well, it goes without saying really, for most people it will be someone in their family, but yeah, usually their children. But, you know, families are weird. There might be a difference in your family. Who is the most important person in your life? My daughters. And because it says who is the most important person, it's only one person they're asking about. But I'm using plural, yeah. My daughters are the most important people. Remember that the plural of person is people in my life. Why? Well, why? Because they're my daughters, because they are my family. What other word of these could I use for that? I could add, and they inspire me. Yeah. Just a simple one, that. Who is the most important person in life? My daughters are the most important people in my life because they are my family and they also inspire me. They're both exceptional students in the fields that they do and they make me proud every single day. So that would be why. Isn't that nice? Oh. My cat is the most important thing in my life because she keeps me company and loves me unconditionally. Isn't that nice? Right, only a few more left. So we've done travel and holidays, entertainment, family and friends. We've also done where you live and your home country, daily life, education and work. So 3 more subjects that they tend to use. Free time, and then sports and the future. Okay, so free time. What do they ask about free time? How much time do you spend at home nowadays? How much time do you spend at home? At home nowadays. Well, how much time do you spend at home? Do you spend a lot of time at home? Answering the question, what do I spend time at home? I usually, so present simple, trigger word. I usually spend my mornings at home. Why? Because I like to relax before work. So that's what I do. It's when I do it in my mornings. That's why I do it, because I like to relax before I go to work or before work. It's where I am is at home. So I've pretty much answered it all with those questions, but I could expand on there and say at weekends or on the weekend I often go diving or go out with friends. So that's a bigger answer, isn't it? It's a lot bigger answer. How much time do you spend at home nowadays? I usually spend my mornings at home because I like to relax before work. At weekends I often go diving or go out with friends. That's a much nicer answer than just saying how much time do you spend at home nowadays? Oh, quite a lot. Yeah, quite a lot. Okay, great. Why? That will be the next question from the examiner would be why, if you don't give a big enough answer or a long enough answer. So there you go, that's one about free time. So our next question, we're only going to do 2 more today. Sports. In the sports section, sports is here, it says, are you interested in sport? Now, some people are, some people aren't. So, if you wouldn't have, or you would find it difficult to come up with an answer in the moment for that, then prepare one beforehand. Try and think of something you can say beforehand. You can lie. Yeah, you could say you're interested in sport when you're not. You can make something up. Are you interested in sport? Well, I'm going to the football today. I'm going to see Tenerife in the last game of the season. So I'm interested in football. Not as much as I used to be, but I still like to go. So, yes, I like to watch live football. Yeah, I don't like to watch it on TV. I like to watch it live. I like to watch TV. Like to watch live football. Where I go to see CD Tenerife in Santa Cruz. When at weekends. So that's where and when. Okay? Yes, I like to watch football. That's what I like to do. That's where and that's when. And then who with? With the Armada Sir fan club. Okay, so that's my with, or who with. So we've got what, where, when, who with. We've not said our why yet, because, so our why ends up with because. Live football is always another present simple trigger word, more interesting or more exciting or whatever adverb or adjective you want. Remember, ing adjective. I like that a lot of people saying to me in class, you know, oh, why did you do that? Oh, because I'm boring. It's like, no, not you're boring, you're bored. So you have ing adjectives and you have ed adjectives. Bored or let's say interesting. Interesting, interested. Interesting is how the thing makes me feel. So the thing, which also ends in ing, is interesting. I am interested in that thing. So that's how you remember that which one to use. So if I say I'm boring, then that's me saying I am the thing and I am boring. So I make other people feel bored about me. But if I am bored, then I am bored. The other thing is making me feel bored. Okay? So you have to watch out how you're saying this. If you say I'm boring, then everyone will go, oh yeah, you are, aren't you? Ugh, I'm going now, bye. You know? So, here we are you interested in sport? Yes, I like to watch live football. I go to see CD Tenerife in Santa Cruz at weekends with the Armada Surf fan club because live football is always more interesting. So, using who, what, why, when and where, we have answered the question with a much nicer, fuller answer. haven't we? If you want to answer this question, let's have a look. Hello, hi from a fellow English teacher. You're in Barcelona. Excellent. I like to go to Barcelona quite a lot. Because we don't get very many concerts in Tenerife, there's not much live music. I'm always looking for bands to see in either Barcelona or Madrid. And when I get the chance, I go and travel across just for a weekend. I have a friend who lives in Madrid as well that I like to go and see. In Barcelona, that I like to go and see Federica. She's actually Italian. But yeah, I go and see her. So, hi, Barcelona. Right, we're just going to do one more for today because I'm going to have to start getting ready to go to the football shortly. And we're going to talk, the last one on the speaking part one, we're going on these lists of questions. Our last subject is the future. Okay, so our first question from the future: is there anything you'd love to be able to do in the future? Is there anything you would love to be able to? I'm sure we all know that that's basically can, yeah? The infinitive of can, to do in the future. Future, okay. Is there anything you would love to be able to do in the future? Oh, I don't know. Is there anything that you lot would love to be able to do in the future? I would love to be able to fly. I think I would love to be able to fly. I've always wanted to. I used to actually go and when I was in my younger days, I was in what is called the ATC in England, which is like the Scouts but for the Air Force, and we used to go and fly planes. I used to love flying. I used to always want to be a pilot. So is there anything you would love to be able to do in the future? In my case, I would love to be able to fly a plane. So I would love. So we've got would love here. I would love to be able to. So we're using the same structure here in our answer. I would love to be able to fly a plane. A plane. I would love to be able to fly a plane. So that's our what. Why is a good next answer, isn't it? Because I have always loved. Whoa! Present perfect. I have always loved. Why are we using the present perfect? A lot of people get confused about the present perfect. I will explain. Because this is now, this is the future, this is our past. Can we all see that? Yeah, it's on the screen. Present perfect is talking about something that happened, that started in the past. If you're not specifying a start date, sort of like in 1973 or 10 years ago, or since 1973 or 10 years ago, then this is when you're born. So it's all your life from the moment you're born. But if you say since and a date, so it would be since 1973, I was born in 1973, or for, so since if you say in the start date, or if you say in the duration, for 50 years, in my case, almost 51 in September, then you're talking about this period of time, and it goes from now all the way back to the start point. So we're not specifying a time or that this is something that started in the past, could have happened at any point up until now, and could possibly happen in the future. So that's why it's the present perfect, because it's attached to now. Okay, the past perfect, if you use had there, would be something that finished just before now. Okay, but because I'm using present perfect, it is attached to now. Okay, so I would love to be able to fly a plane because I have always loved, let me say, being in the sky or in the air. When would I like to do it? Well, this is something, it's a desire for the future, so we're not going to specify a time. Don't think we'd use when. Who with? Again, we don't know because it's something in the future, but we could speculate. Maybe I will, because it's a prediction for the future, I will take lessons. Yeah, maybe I will take lessons. Who with? With a flying instructor. Yeah, so now I've made my original answer, which was just the 2 parts, which would have been okay, a little bit bigger as well, so it's more interesting. Is there anything you would love to be able to do in the future? I would love to be able to fly a plane because I have always loved being in the air. Maybe I will take lessons with a flying instructor in the future. Or when I have some money, or in a few years. You know, you could say any of these things. So I would love to be able to fly a plane because I have always loved being in the air. Maybe I will take lessons with a flying instructor in the future. Boom. Nice bigger answer. Yeah, it's a lot nicer to say all of that than just, oh, I'd like to fly. I'd like to learn how to fly. Because then they will ask you why anyway. So those are all the questions that we had. Well, not all the questions. We've got lots and lots of questions for this. So another day we'll do, you know, some more from this list. I can, when I finish with it, I'll stick this list on my website as well, so it can be downloaded. But yeah, put those down on there. So, or if you want to take screenshots. We have, so, free time, sports, these are all things that they would ask you questions from. The future, travel and holidays, entertainment, family and friends. Starters would be what is your name and where are you from, which is there at the top. What's your name, where you're from. In that you're going to need to know how to spell your name and your surnames, where you live now in your home country, daily life, education and work. These are all the subjects that they tend to ask. We've just done one question from each today. Another day we'll do others. So if you want to do more practice on this on other days, then don't forget to follow me. If you like what I'm doing, then please give me a load of likes. And remember the schema. Yeah, whatever your question is, try and answer as many of the W questions as you can. Who, what, why, where, when, and then how and which are also ones you could use. But if you have that in your head, what did you do at the weekend? Oh, I went shopping in Siam Mall. I saw a new t-shirt that I liked. I went with my friends on Saturday at about 12 o'clock. If you've got that idea in your head, so, you know, who, what, why, where, when, and you answer those, then your answer will be a little bit better. It will be that much more full, it will be bigger, it will be more interesting, and therefore you will get more points. All about points in speaking exams. Speaking doesn't really matter afterwards because everyone makes mistakes, but you want to make as fewer mistakes in your actual exam as you can. Don't forget, if you do make a mistake, then correct yourself. Correct yourself in the moment if you think you have made a mistake in the moment. Yeah? Okay, that's it for today. I have to go and support Tenerife. I've got my camera sort of like flipped so that you can read the things. So left and right are going off on me. And I'll be doing another live probably on Monday. I'm not sure if I'll do it in the morning or in the evening. I will be announcing that on my stories and also on my page. So if you follow along, you will get that notification. And if you want any more English tips, if you like to hear about Tenerife as well, I sometimes do content about that. I might post or do a live this afternoon when I'm at the football just to show you what goes on there. But yeah, bye bye. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you next time.